Hello, and welcome to the Get Pod Local podcast where we ask, what the fuck is happening in Kentucky, and why are we being held hostage over this?
Welcome to Get Pod Local.
I don't know why we're all involved.
This is crazy.
Hi, my name is Jalon, and I keep up with the news for you.
And I'm Joey, and I keep up with the policy for you.
And together we help you vote smarter and not harder. And today we're going to discuss something in the news more in-depthly, and then we're going to chat with Chelsey Hockett, who is running for Congress. Let's get started. First, we're going to just do a nice palate cleanser. We're going to do our new segment, which is called No Context. So I'm going to ask a random ass question that we're both going to answer. No context. Just answer, no explanation.
I hate not being prepared, I will say, so.
But it gives you a moment.
No, I know. It's authentic. It's a good thing. I like it. I like it.
Okay.
I like it in concept.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's do it.
All right. If your memory got erased, what is one book that you would be excited that you would be able to reread again for the first time?
Ooh, that's an awesome question.
It doesn't have to be your favoriteest book.
No, that's the thing. That's what I'm like kind of plotting through. Yeah. Like what sort of book would it be? I have one that's weird.
Okay.
Bear with me. So when in the 90s, before I went I should say the name.
Just say the name.
No explaining. Okay, I'm going to say The Beach. His last name is Garland. That's all I can think of.
Okay, great. Mine is Heated Rivalry.
It's called Heated Rivalry. Yes, of course.
Take me back. We were having fun. Take me back. Okay. Next up, we're going to talk about something that is in the news a little bit more in-depthly. As our subscribers know, we tell the daily news every weekday, but this one is where we just kind of sit down and talk about it just a little bit. And today is this thing I read this morning that I was like, what is happening? I'm going to read this to you. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Alex Jones, the former owner of InfoWars, on Tuesday said that President Trump must be impeached over the Iran conflict, describing the situation as, quote, absolutely out of control, unquote, and warning that the administration is preparing for a national draft. Quote, the big issue is how to stop Trump, and we have to have Congress go for war powers. They've tried 3 times to vote on war powers. They're supposed to authorize a war. This is a war. They're getting a draft ready. If this isn't a war, nothing's a war. I mean, this is absolutely out of control, unquote. To which I say, Joey, how dare this administration have me agreeing with conspiracy theorist Alex Jones?
Yeah, no. Fuck that.
Dare they have me going, yeah, he's making a valid point.
Yep. I'm going to have to say I agree with Alex Jones as well. Only, right? Like, how is it that Alex Jones is the one saying we have to stop Trump? Really, Alex? Because he definitely helped get him elected the last 2 times he's been elected. Fuck Alex Jones, but fuck Trump so much more.
Let me read some more what he says. Quote, and so I am calling for right now the 25th Amendment. Impeach whatever needs to happen to get this front and center, to get control of our country, unquote.
Agreeing with Alex Jones. I just didn't have that on my bingo card for
me
this
either.
year. Yeah.
Me either. But also, and I don't want to talk too much about this because the fact that we're agreeing with this man alone is crazy, but a broke clock is right twice a day. But also, it is insane to me that not just a draft dodger, but a 5 times draft dodger would ever be allowed to invoke a draft in this country, especially a war that's so unpopular that nobody wanted and we didn't need to be in. There was no reason to start this other than Obama had an agreement and Israel asked you to do this.
It's all about that. Yeah. He was talked into it by his boyfriend, Netanyahu, so he doesn't know what he's doing.
I'm frustrated beyond words. I'm just frustrated that when they have me looking like a wackadoodle, like, well, I need to get a generator and I need to start growing my own food and I need to bake my own bread. And now on top of this, I'm agreeing with a conspiracy theorist. And
I know, but I guess one positive we can keep reminding ourselves is Trump has shown us that he does not have an off-ramp for this Iran war. And because of that, we are likely to still be at war in the fall when people are voting. And the gas prices, you know what they're going to keep doing? Going up. So, and inflation, it is going to keep ticking up. Like all of these metrics that people talk about, like why people vote, like it's killing him. So
I know.
let's hope, right, that could give us some magic in the electorate this fall.
Yes. But to that, I'm calling on our fellow Democratic podcasters, influencers, media folks. We have to keep just beating the drum of all the things that is wrong in this country because of this person. Like everybody's memories are so short term because something's always happening.
Right.
This man is sick. He's falling asleep at funerals. He has no way to get out of this war that he got us into. One day there's peace and the next day there's no peace. And it's like the thing that also frustrates me as a elder millennial, exennial, is that when I was in the 5th grade and on the bus and we're singing songs, a big song that we used to do was We Will Rock You by Queen because you can stomp on the bus and everybody.
I remember doing that in the bus.
And then we were also doing Too Legit to Quit by MC Hammer. We were doing that. But the other chant that we were saying when I was in the 5th grade is peace, peace in the Middle East. To which I also want to say to you, Joey, that I did not realize until I heard somebody say it. There is no name for this war. Have you noticed that?
Oh, you're right. That's true, because we would always say, like, the Iraq War and the Desert Storm or whatever. Yeah.
We had Operation Desert Storm, like you said, from the original Bush. And then what was the second one? Oh, Iraqi Freedom. Operation Iraqi. Was it Iraqi Freedom? Operation
Desert Storm was the first one?
Yeah, that was yeah. Bush.
That's when I learned about Bernie Sanders. Let's see. Someone was saying the other day, though, that they haven't named it on purpose because they are very, like, trying to pretend like it's not a war.
I know.
Like, because like, that's
Operation
the thing where
Iraqi Freedom. Yeah, I was right.
It was Iraqi Freedom. Okay.
Yeah.
Because that's supposedly why they didn't, like, let us know about the deaths of service members, because they're like, well, it's not wartime. We're at peacetime now.
I know.
Excuse me, while bombing? No.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's nonsensical.
Yeah. If you are constantly going to the Hill and having to get in front of Congress people and ask them for more money for this thing, then it's a war. If you're depleting our arsenal of weapons and leaving us like unsafe, I don't know what his base thinks is happening.
But you know what, too? The war part of it is a bigger issue that's been going on for decades because, like, for instance, they called it Operation Desert Storm because they never wanted to declare a war. So none of them want to say war on their watch. So they all end up like lying that it's not a war. And so we have not declared war and officially been at war as a country since World War II. For some reason, the Vietnam War, that is what we call it, it is not considered a war.
What about the Korean War?
Not considered a war. The last time, you can look on the internet right now because I had to look it up. I wasn't sure if I was correct, but it is true. The last time America was in a war was in World War II. We have lots of modern conflicts, but we call them all something else, and we never designated them as a war. It's a sneaky thing that's been going on for decades. So, like all of these presidents, and I mean, if you think about it, Obama also did things like this because he bombed places and never declared a war, So, I mean,
Yeah. At no point is this a 100% pro. Right. Like, we don't agree with everything. That would be crazy.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy if we agreed on everything. I don't agree with everything FDR did. He did a lot of great stuff. LBJ, I don't agree with everything he did.
No, FDR was a total racist, so.
And LBJ had to be nudged to do good things. Yeah.
LBJ only did it because he had such a large view of himself that he wanted to be looked at as someone that people liked. It's literally why he did it, for himself.
He can have a highway. That's fine.
No, I know, exactly.
Yeah. Another great freeze frame. Yeah.
I know.
All right. Enough of Alex Jones. Let's move on. I can't keep doing this.
Next up, Jalon and I sat down with Chelsey Hockett, who's running for Congressional District 5 against a corrupt MAGA lackey named Lance. Well, thanks for coming on the show, Chelsey. We've got Chelsey Hockett for Congressional District 5 with us today. Super excited to have you here, Chelsey. Thank you.
Thank you for having me on. I was excited to hear from you.
Well, let's start with where are you running? Tell us about Congressional District 5. I will start with it. The way I got to know you initially was by following Citizens Against Lance Gooden, who is the current congressperson, and I used to be in Congressional District 5 with Lance Gooden. So I know him personally, and I also have had some run-ins with him. We were we went to some of his town halls, and he asked us to leave and stuff like that. So anyway, I know Lance Gooden pretty well, and so I love having you as a candidate running against him because you've sort of been running against him for years with the Citizens Against Lance Gooden social media that you've had going. So it's cool with you actually running against him. So welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, he made me really mad, and I decided that between childcare kicking me out of having stable financial, we were having issues with that. So I was like, well, I have free time. And I can't stand you. So here I come. I mean, he hit me for being a mother repeatedly online. And so I was just like, yep. We're going to put the mom on the ballot. But Congressional District 5 now is Lake Highlands, White Rock Lake area. Then it goes through South Garland and Rowlett down through Seagoville. Okay. And also hits Mesquite. And then it goes all the way down to Palestine and near out to Tyler. It just stops the county, the county that Tyler's in. So it's a big district.
It's really big, yeah.
I'm in Terrell, so I get everybody in Dallas always apologizing to me for the long drive, which is 30 minutes. And I'm like, well, I have to go to Palestine, which is an hour and a half away, so I'll take Dallas any day. But it's a big district, but it's been so fun because I started getting out with the rural groups, especially with the Citizens Against Lance Gooden, and we did an empty chair town hall against him, and we threw pie at a picture of his face on the stuffed animal. And then we met him at a library, and we protested just basically him, and we were there, and then he told us all that, go tell all the Democrats and the pro-transgender agenda nuts across the district that I don't represent anything that you stand for, and got that on video. That was fun. And then he blasted me from that point on the internet, and it is actually a job duty of his staffers to watch me. And it has been.
No.
So
kudos. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you. And that was before I decided to run. So they were watching me ahead of time.
Wow.
So that's so awesome. It was hard to watch.
You would think he would have his hands full with other things.
Oh, yeah. I mean, ripping off the taxpayers is one of them. I have done an intensive study on his FEC commissions and housing that's happening in Coffin. We've got a lot of issues over here. They are running rampant, and he has decided to push into Dallas and give Dallas Housing Authority a hard time. And nobody has checked his FEC records and who's donating to him. Mm-hmm. So it's just a big show. So I've been putting all that together.
Ooh. And then what is the new? I saw there was another ethics investigation against him. You don't know what it's about yet?
We have no idea what it's about. I would love to know. Somebody blamed the Van Zandt County chair for being the one to report him. They're like, you probably did it. And I was like, well, if he did it, then I would know what it was. And I don't know what it is.
Yeah. Before we came on, I was like, do we know anything yet? And I just went to Politico, and it's the shortest, he's under investigation. That's it. And I was like, okay.
That's it. That's all it is. And we should know by November 9th. But apparently there was a hearing yesterday. But November 9th is conveniently 6 days after the election. So
they're going to release why he's under an ethics complaint
by November 9th. But It could be after the election. So they could be releasing it after the election. And it's this horrific thing. And we still have him in office. But I think the last person to get investigated fully by the Ethics Commission resigned. So... Oh, okay. in Texas.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It was Tony Gonzalez. So,
yeah.
Well, we'll see how that goes.
So many amazing Congress people in this state.
Are there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm leaning into sarcasm because otherwise I'll just start crashing out. It's is there no good people? Well, of course there is.
Well, there's 4.
Chelsey.
I'm not elected yet. I will be.
That's right.
In November.
That's right.
We do have, with the redistricting, we do have more Democrats than we do Republicans. So that's an exciting thing on our end as well. We just have to turn them out. which is
So
gonna be hard.
is your map one of the ones that they like allowed to get bluer, or did they draw it redder and it's just turned bluer?
No, so they dropped Wood and Upshur County and picked up Anderson County, which is redder than Wood and Upshur, but they moved so far into Dallas that they actually put themselves at risk, and they went from a +22 safe to a +10. And
Okay.
like through Cook, it says a +10 district, and it's a safe RC, but we've been seeing them flip at like an 11 to 13, like or +11 to 13 to the other way.
Right.
So we're hoping that we can get at least 11 points to flip it and then more, because people are really upset. And so they're
Yep.
seeing it heavily in Kaufman County,
Mhm.
which with our primary turnout, we went from about 900 on average on primary to about 12,000 people turning out for the primary in Kaufman County.
Amazing.
What?
Absolutely insane. And a lot of it has to do with the housing issue that's going on here. It's a touchy subject because it's Section 8 related, but basically we have like build to rent builders that are applying for vouchers at like 100 out of 116 rate. So like 100 houses out of 150 being built are being directly applied for like housing vouchers, and they're choosing the families, they're bringing the families in. And so it's increasing the median rental price so people can't afford to rent a house, and then it's decreasing the property values of everything around them. So people are really just agitated. And I have nothing against, like, I am very for general welfare programs and increasing them so that way we can actually bridge that gap in poverty. But I'm not for taking advantage of an entire situation and causing everybody else to suffer because we have greedy investors trying to take advantage of unincorporated territory as well as pre-planned. So
But a more than 12 time increase of turnout is a huge deal, and you're right, really gives you set up for a reason to be excited, I guess, about the election.
Yes.
So well done. That's exciting.
We are excited. And I'm sorry, I've got the Dr. Pepper.
You do what you got to do. We know. It's I know you already had meetings this morning and you probably have other stuff later. So well done. Keep going.
Well, it's just the Dr. Pepper addiction. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. It's the Dr. Pepper addiction.
Yeah, no, I'm addicted as well. Yeah.
It's fun. But yeah, so the turnout here is going to be good. And then just seeing everything in Dallas, like those numbers were insane as well. So we're hoping for a good push.
Beyond the congressperson that is your congressperson right now, what made you wake up one day and say, you know what, it's me, I'll do it?
It was a lot of things. So I grew up very heavily educated in social justice because my aunt was in one of the first schools that was integrated in Alabama. And my grandmother used to cross picket lines. And so I was dragged all over the state of Alabama happily. And I was given a very heavy like civics education. So I really learned the unfair and fair at a young age. And then I grew up a little bit at the NIH where I went to work with my aunt. And I got to see, like, she did grant funding for over 40 years with the NIH. So I got to meet a lot of the people that worked in grant funding. She worked under Fauci. It was pretty cool. And so then I started learning in the immigration issues that we had back in it started about, I want to say 2015, 2016, where we had we were seeing kids that were not being treated properly during detention. Fixed the issue, Trump reversed it, and then just the immigration issue just expanded. So I'm sitting here with all of this in my background, already mad about what's happening. Trump is in office. Well, actually, I'm sorry. 2022 comes around, Roe v. Wade is overturned. I've had miscarriages before I had my first child. I had miscarriages in between. I had 2 high-risk pregnancies, and I was 20 weeks pregnant when Roe v. Wade was overturned. So I was terrified that I was going to die if I go to the hospital with a problem because I didn't think I was going to be able to get treatment in Texas. So I started that out and then went through this full postpartum anxiety, postpartum depression, all of this stuff with barely any mental health care, barely any medical care at all for a body that physically feels like it's tearing apart every time that I move because of childbirth. And then I get into childcare is the same cost as my job. So why am I working? And that was like my final straw. I was like, I'm just going. I can't do this. I don't want to be a part of it. My story is not unique. Everybody is suffering from the exact same things across the country. And if I can bring a voice to that because nobody else is listening to the moms that are suffering every day across the country, then I'm going to be the one to do it.
Thank you for running. Well done.
Thank you so much. Man, every woman we interview, I'm always like, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry.
Me
don't
too.
Cry, don't cry, don't cry.
Me too. I was just saying that to myself. Don't get
One of the worst parts. So I had my daughter 2 weeks after COVID shut everything down, including the job that I was working in. So I started, when I started working, I had like 4 or 5 jobs in college because I didn't ever want to be home. One of the things that I started doing, I was a cashier at Taco Bell, just literally just to get hours and to get out of my house. And my stepdad was not a good person. He still isn't. He's just kind of dead to me right now. So.
R.I.P. Mhm.
Yes. So I was out of the house a lot. And from that like cashier role, I ended up serving, and then I bartended, and then I became a regional training manager, and I was a general manager. So I was a general manager of a store in Springfield, Ohio, where they're eating the cats and dogs.
Girl, I used to live in Dayton, Ohio. That's so
I lived in
funny.
Xenia.
Yeah. Oh my God.
While I was in Ohio and I was a general manager, my store shut down during COVID, and I worked for Panera, and it was under Cavelli Enterprises, which is a privately owned franchise by a billionaire, go figure. And I got my healthcare cut. So 2 weeks before I gave birth. And it was an emergency C-section, and my daughter went to the NICU a couple days after she was born for jaundice. So that was $100,000 medical expense.
My God.
Thankfully, my husband's shop picked me up, and they made it retroactive, and they helped cover everything, which is a miracle, but that did not happen for everybody that experienced that situation. So I'm a really, really big advocate for universal health care, because at no point in time should a pandemic put you into debt when it is affecting the entire world. And so medical bankruptcy should not exist in this country.
No, agreed.
Honest to God, like, we're the only nation that has that phrase.
Yes.
And our healthcare should not be attached to our employment. Like, this is crazy.
So I'm a really big advocate for that, and that is why. But like, I've experienced just some crazy stuff, and again, I know my experience is not a one-off, and I don't try to one-up anybody on it, but that is where I'm coming from, and this is why I'm such a big advocate for the policies that I advocate for. But also for fair pay, we would sit in meetings talking about how to retain our employees. When I was working for Cavelli Enterprises, I begged and pleaded for them to take away all of my benefits if they could pay my employees $1 more a piece. And of course it was a no. Like, what about a pizza party? And I was like, well, how about instead of spending $10 million on getting your name on a stadium at Ohio State, you like do a college fund, and then you pay your employees. And then I had a bunch of people turn around and be like, that's his money. I'm like, well, I know you're Republicans, but at the same time, like, those are his employees, and his company is failing, so he needs to take care of them. And so it's such a mess. And so that is that's where I'm at. I've rated a 1 star to work for. Go figure.
No surprise.
For them. I love that for them.
Yeah, me too. Now that I'm out of it, I love it.
Yeah. Man, Chelsey, your life. I mean, you want to talk about life experience to be able to do this specific role. Like, you got it. That is.
It was like, and I'm not a career politician. I don't have the legislative experience. And a lot of what I was going through, I wasn't as involved as I wanted to be at a younger age, but I have endometriosis and I have reproductive issues. And so when I had my kids, I tried to focus on them. And then I was in such a hard, like, postpartum state that the minute that I came out of it, I came out swinging. And that's when I started Citizens Against Lance Gooden. I was done. I was over it. And I made it through the hardest part of having a child at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
and that's where I am.
But you know what? Legislators who are being newly elected should not have to have legislative experience. That's what staff is for. That's why we have people in DC who are experts, even though, this current administration thinks we should do away with all of them. The point of it is that having expertise means that we can elect people from the people.
And then you can talk to the expert.
Your life experience makes you a good representative to the people. And so you can have a staff that knows how to legislate, and you're going to be fine.
And a big part of that is, for me, is no corporations, because I've lived the corporation part of it, and I've been a direct outcome of the corporations running everything, and I'm over it. I don't know about y'all, but I'm over it.
We are over it. Yeah, we're over it with you. Yes.
Also, I keep seeing Hood Feminism back there, and that is such a good book.
Yes. I agree. So every week I put a new book that is kind of like what I'm trying to theme out into the universe for whatever I'm seeing in there's a lot of
that one helped me out a ton too, because, understanding, of course, a different point of view. You can read about the policy and everything else, but when you actually read lived experience, is way different. But I also live in a historically Black neighborhood where they deal with a lot of those same issues that are represented in the book. And so me going out and talking to my neighbors, it's a good book to have. I want to advocate for my little community and my farmers and everybody else. And that's the big part for me. That is important. So Lance Gooden, his freshman year in the state house, he actually declared eminent domain in Henderson County and blocked the cutoff, which was a big part of just the local life in Henderson County. They started condemning land of the people that lived in it, that had owned that land for generations. And they weren't necessarily successful, but they created their own municipal utilities kind of area to develop it. And so a bunch of billionaires got in, bought the land, split it up, and they just trade about a fifth of an acre back and forth every year for the sales. And so they make money off of that, but that's still an active issue in Henderson County. They're also allowing dumping into the river around the same area, so they are polluting the river. But the same billionaire that is behind it is Monty Bennett, who was also behind the Hutchins warehouse factory, where they were, the human warehouse.
And he's also behind the ballot issues that were very pro-white supremacist stuff on Dallas last election.
He likes to meet with the city council behind closed doors and push a lot of stuff. And then we also have Kyle Bass, who is currently trying to sue rural America, and Lance has refused to speak up about it because he is suing over the rights of the Carrizo-Wilcox aquifer that is in our district. And he, again, refuses to speak up about it. He tried to privatize a mental health hospital with the American National Bank Board, and they got a cease and desist in Kaufman County because it would have cost about 1,000 jobs in the city of Terrell itself. So he almost put a good chunk of Terrell into poverty and unemployment. And there's a lot of other stuff that he has just done that has been absolutely horrific. It's a lot of lobbying money, and it's what's coming in. And right now we're seeing, I think, so far I'm up to nearly $500,000 that have come into his accounts through the FEC Commission on developing real estate and EB-5 immigration programs that are investing in these gigantic neighborhoods where they're doing the build to rent, and they're messing with the just the economic structure of the city. And they're having to do so much stuff to combat the overgrowth, the very fast growth, not really overgrowth. It's just been very extreme that they're not able to keep up with infrastructure. They're not able to keep up with parks, and public works has been affected, and they don't have any money coming in. So they are just, they can't keep up with the amount of growth that's been happening. And it's the same mud districts that you see all over the big master plan communities. So all of those developers are in his pockets on a regular basis.
That's the thing. The open corruption is just unfucking believable.
It's pay to play. It is the good old boy system. It is alive and well in East Texas. I mean, we even have 3 or 4 civical tactics groups in the area. Do you guys know what that is? Have you heard of that? It is a white supremacist group led by pastors educating. It's the Red Pill Pipeline. So it's actually on the SPLC, the SPLC website for hate groups. So I would go look that up. But it's called Civical Tactics. And again, it's led by pastors, and they have a membership that you get to. They have whole YouTube videos and all of that. I didn't access it because I don't have a paid membership to it, but it is literally just a rebranded KKK, and they have it in Van Zandt, Henderson County, Anderson County. They're all over the place. But I'm pretty sure it's part of the Patriot Front. So,
what?
Yes. Also, if you want some tea, the Van Zandt County chair currently, he pulled into the library at like 11 o'clock at night because he went to go grab his car after going to an event and found Bob Hall, Senate representative, performing a ritual with other men in the parking lot next to the Masonic Lodge.
Wait, what?
Rural America.
Senator Bob Hall?
Bob Hall, a very scary pregnancy is like a hangnail. Bob Hall,
Keenan Colbert, Bob Hall.
Yeah,
we're gonna boost Keenan in this one.
Yeah, we had Keenan already. He is so great.
I know. I love him. We overlap. I think we overlap like
y'all overlap
8,000 houses. It's a big.
Yeah. I know I'm frozen. I have so many questions.
No.
I'm here for him. I'll go.
What were they doing in the parking lot?
He has no idea what they were doing. He said they were all in a big circle doing
a circle trick. Just kidding.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they were praying, just because the Bob Hall town halls I've been to, he prayed 3 times during the town hall.
In a library parking lot next to the Masonic Lodge. No churches, nothing. And he's like, they were dressed weird and everything
all the time, though. It's super fucking...
At 11 o'clock at night at the library?
Yeah, but Joey... Chelsey just said they were dressed weird.
Yeah, I don't think they were Klan robes. I don't think that was that far, but I'm sure it was something close to that.
But it could have been.
Yeah, they said it was wild. So they run into Bob Hall all the time. He lives in Van Zandt County, so they deal with him frequently.
So crazy.
Crazy.
Whole election.
I mean, it's just outright white supremacy and corruption. But it's the Democrats that have not controlled Texas in over 30 years.
That they're trying to blame for
stuff. Their fault,
nonsensical.
Well, everybody's taking like the housing thing here. It's literally through the DHA, which is a federal program. They're like, the city of Dallas is pushing everybody that they don't want in Dallas down to California. And I was like, how? It is a federal program that city of Dallas has nothing to do with. And I was like, they're applying for it's your builders. Like, literally follow your builders. Your builders are applying for it, and they're picking the families. They're bringing the people in. They have full background checks. They know if they're criminals or not, and they're letting them into the area, and they're getting arrested, and then they have full, like, criminal backgrounds.
Wow.
So, and again, the builders are picking those families coming in. So they got a grant for a crime prevention district out here. Otherwise, our police budget would have gone over the city budget, and we would be bankrupt in Forney because of the overdevelopment. And it's really bad. Like, and it's just all pay to play.
And
it's
like
horrible.
you said, they're just cookie cuttering, like, kind of just plopping down whole communities and then adding in the shopping that they would need, which is just junk.
We did get an HEB, so
oh, that's a win.
I was like,
that's
a bonus. It's 8 minutes from my house because I live on the edge of Terrell, and like I live right next to 20 by Buc-ee's, and so I live right on the edge of it. So I just pop on the highway, go a couple exits down, and there's my HEB. So that's the only benefit to all of this is that I have an HEB now. But I don't think the people living in that community are super happy about it.
My God,
it's like. So every conversation we've had for this podcast feels like we are Sam Jackson at the end of an Avenger film. It's like we just keep grabbing another person, and it's like, why? You've dealt with this person too?
The end of this interview is also the very end of the Avengers movie, like that clip that comes on at the very
yes,
where you're like, Bob Hall, the circle of the library.
Yeah.
Him again.
Yeah, it's wild out here. It is like it's a free-for-all. But we do have amazing candidates that are running up and down the ballot in Forney, which I don't think has ever happened before. We actually have Democrats running fully down the ballot, and we have an incredible couple that is well representative of like the Black community in Forney. They're fully involved in it on top of having Keenan, and we actually have representation in Forney for the people that are coming in because it is now a minority majority city. So we are hoping to see big changes and have actual representation on the ballot. So I'm doing everything I can to support Keenan, Tree, and Marcus for Forney because if Forney flips, the election's won.
Yes.
So
those are the wins.
Selfish, but like that is, and then we actually have representation and people to fight back in the community for the community. So we are very excited, but
so exciting.
Fingers crossed.
Yes, but it can happen now, like Taylor Ramet's seat that it flipped, and
massively.
I can't think of the name of the woman who became mayor, who's DSA, and everyone was all like, what? Like, so Texas is flipping stuff. We're excited this year. We're going.
Yes. I'm happy. Y'all can find me at ChelseyHockettForCongress.com, and then it is the same thing on all my socials, just Chelsey Hockett, CHELSEY HOCKETT. And you can find me almost everywhere. If you want to donate, you can donate through the website as well.
Thank you for running. Thank you.
What a phenomenal human being. I don't know how we got so lucky that on our ballot we have all these phenomenal women running for office. And we've seen things like this happen where like the Tea Party and then all of a sudden there's an influx of all these other people running for the Democratic Party. And I'm so excited for her and her campaign, and I wish her nothing but the best.
I agree. I'm really excited about her candidacy. Like you said, I love seeing lots of women stepping up this year and moms in particular. Like, it's just like, I want someone who knows what that's like, running and representing 50% of the people, 51% of the people of Texas. So that would be cool. But yeah, we have a very strong woman-led ticket with Gina Hinojosa at the top. We've got Vicki Goodwin for lieutenant governor, the most powerful seat in Texas. And
truly.
Yeah, and Sarah Eckhart for comptroller and many more. Hopefully we'll interview all of them over the season. So it's cool.
Yeah, here's hoping. Here's hoping.
All right, that's our show. Thanks for watching or listening.
If you'd like to keep up with the news, we have a daily news brief where we talk about the biggest news stories of the day. Nothing too crazy, just enough to make you not look silly at the water cooler.
And if you want to know what you can do in your community to be an active participant in your local government, I put out a weekly newsletter called Organizer's Corner.
That's right. And like I said, we got you guys covered on the news and politics over here because I keep up with the news for you.
And I keep up with the policy for you.
And together we help you become smarter and more consistent voters. We'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.